With millions of YouTube channels, lovers of the weird, wacky, and what the choose Talks a Lot Entertainment. This is Dick's News International. Hello and welcome to Dick's News International number 3. Got some interesting stories tonight. It's, as always, it's been a very long day for me, if you can't tell from my general appearance. Yeah. So I'm pretty tired. So excuse me if I'm a little like stupid tonight. Anyway, let's say hello to the chat. Here we have Tolbat. He says, "Isn't half of America boomers?" Yeah, more or less. And Vince Womack, he says, "Greetings and salutations. Hello, good sir." Hello, hello. Tolbat also says, "Japan, China, America, and Europe are all committing suicide by not having kids. Democrats tried to fix this by opening the border. Rhinos know it also and let it happen. Need a baby boom." Yes, we do need a global baby boom, honestly, but at the same time, ain't nothing you can do to convince people that having kids right now is a good idea. I mean, honestly, this world sucks, bro. You want to bring kids into it? Man. I have kids, so I really can't say much. Makes me a bit of a hypocrite if I do. But anyway, so I hope everyone is doing well tonight. If you're not, I hope you can get some good rest or get a good meal or get what you need to be okay. That's right. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? We'll say hello to people as they join us. But the first story... Oh, wait. See, that's how tired I am. Right there. I forgot to open the Rumble chat. I need to open the Rumble chat because and okay, we're back. Yeah. It is also a question of money for children, but the thing is it's an age-old saying, man. If you wait until you can afford kids, you'll never have them. Just saying. Because kids are expensive no matter what tax bracket you're in. But they're worth every fucking second of it. I'll tell you that much right now. Love my boy. I'm sorry if there's any mouth noises. I'm a little dry at the moment. Hold on. So you're in the boomer half of America. Ha 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 ha. Maybe mental function wise. Man. I'm just going to jump right into these stories because this is kind of crazy, okay? So thousands of Canadians could be on the hook for allegedly sharing Ryan Reynolds' movie. Opponents say these types of legal cases monetize the fear and uncertainty of being sued. So this is where it gets kind of crazy. These people are being sued because they are infringing on the copyright of a movie starring Ryan Reynolds. It's the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, okay? And the lawsuit states that there are 1,900 internet protocol addresses across Canada. It says infringed. Hail to Sean Landrigan. Hi, my friend. Hello. But it says that these people infringed on it, and it says the monetary relief that can be sought for the infringement will not be more than $50,000. If you just think about this for a second, that's $50,000 as a maximum per infringement case. So you're looking like 95 million US, something like that. If they're all charged to the maximum, which I doubt they will. There will be some that will get off with like petty offenses and stuff, but we'll get into, yeah, we'll get into this a little bit. So at least one person in Windsor using Cogeco as an internet service provider uh, that is being sued through federal court in this case. CBC News has viewed the statement of claim, but neither he nor his lawyer agreed to speak for this story. The case was brought in July by Kenneth Clark, a lawyer for Toronto-based law firm Aid Burles, on behalf of Nevada-based company Hitman 2 Productions Incorporated. And yeah, there's a lot of online piracy that people think have no consequences. Our mandate is to show people that illegal conduct has legal consequences. Clark said people receive 2 warnings through their ISPs that illegal activity is happening on their accounts before any legal action occurs. When it does, a process has been negotiated to start a formal court proceeding. So basically, it's a 3-strike system. You get 2 warnings, and then they come after you. And of course, this is because they're allowed to monitor through the internet service providers and stuff what kind of illegal activity you're actually committing, or however you allegedly committing. Yeah. That's by serving a statement of claim on the individual along with the information on how to get legal resources so they can be informed as to the consequences. Excuse me, goodness. We're trying to enforce our clients' rights because people are stealing their movies. All right. Of course, he didn't get back to any of these people because this is from cbc.ca. But so the internet service provider has a legal obligation to inform its customers if there has been an illegal movie download as flagged by the copyright holder, but it does not provide copyright holders with the names or addresses of clients. Well, see, it doesn't unless there is initiated formal legal proceedings against this, okay? And this is what they have to say about it, okay? Much of the problem, according to Clark, comes from free movie apps and Android boxes that use software not to just download movies, but also become a hub to share them with others. Does that sound familiar? If anyone out there has a Plex account or something like that, they're talking about you. So, this is not like Napster where you know what you're doing sometimes. What? What? It's not like Napster where you know what you're doing sometimes. And this is a shortened. Did they edit this for clarity? Because guess what? It's not a very clear statement at this point. What? As for the high dollar amount listed in the statement of claim, Clark said the Copyright Act sets the limit, and that in a formal court document, you ask for the maximum. Typically, cases are resolved somewhere between the minimum and the maximum. Hardcore infringers would be more maximum, and people whose internet has been stolen, we dismiss cases against them. Well, I would fucking hope so. What? Anyway, David Fuhrer, an intellectual property, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's had to intervene in these types of cases brought by this lawyer who has sued more than 10,000 people on behalf of its clients for BitTorrent, which is a peer-to-peer file sharing system, which there's quite a few of those out there. by the way. So read your privacy agreements. Just saying. Landergan, sometimes I always knew what I was doing on Napster, right? I think he meant LimeWire if it was more dangerous. I mean, I don't understand that one little bit, but whatever. No one is saying that people should get away with this, or this should be legal, or that rights can't be enforced. What's getting him involved is the nature of the litigation. What's being monetized here isn't actually the copyright infringement. Our view is that if a judge ever got to issue damages, it would be relatively low amount. The fear and uncertainty of being sued in federal court is what's being monetized. Oh, we don't want to get sued, so we won't watch the trailer. He also takes the issue with Clark's theory of copyright infringement that argues that authorizing someone to use your internet doesn't mean you have control over what they do, so you shouldn't be responsible. A parent of a house isn't responsible for the defamatory statements of a roommate, for example. These lawsuits say we need to have different rule for copyright. So basically what this is saying is people who use the file sharing site to share their movies with other people are being sued for up to 50,000 American dollars. And this is made possible because the internet service providers are allowed to track pretty much whatever they want and then give it to the government without you knowing anything about it. Is it wrong to steal movies? Yeah, it is. Let's be real. Morally speaking, it's wrong to steal anything. Is it okay to get sued because you downloaded a movie that, like, say you downloaded a copy that your friend had on his Plex account so you could go on a road trip with your friend and, he's still in possession of it and it's not technically changing hands or being distributed, but it would be flagged as an illegal download. That would then become an issue, right? Because if the person who technically owns the license or whatever terminology you want to use with that is still in possession of and still consuming said media the whole time, like not distributing it, then would that make them liable for all of this? Then Hollywood should get a bailout. And that was another point that I was going to talk about with this. So they're not making any money from streaming services, obviously. And Hollywood is kind of tanking quite a bit. There's certain recent movies that are exception to this, of course. But when you get down to it, they are realizing that there's a huge cash market in suing people for like this kind of stuff. And it just, tinfoil hat time people. I think that they'll be able to use cases like this in order to build grounds for outlawing movies on hard drives and stuff like that. Like, you can't have a digital device that has the movies on it. It has to be on the site that you purchased it from, right? There's no more, just period. Sorry, Vince Womack's correcting himself. He said should have been, shouldn't, joining the boomer. Yeah, they shouldn't get a bailout. I agree. But this is the thing we know about Hollywood and the thing we know about entertainment people in general is that they're fairly greedy bunch, right? And they'll get their money however they can. And if that means suing your average Joe for $50K because he downloaded a movie, then so be it. They'll do it because they have every legal right to do so. And this is the problem that I have with digital media in general. You don't actually own anything. You don't. They can take it away from you whenever you want. They can shut your whole service off and then you lose everything. Like a lot of people have Voodoo accounts, right? If Voodoo ever just went away, and you didn't have some of the physical copies anymore because you had a Voodoo account, then guess what? Oh, well, you lost all your shit and there's nothing you can do to get it back. And they're not liable for it because that's just the way the business works sometimes, right? The problem is they've done this obviously thousands of times already. There's 1,900 IP addresses that they pinged as having illegally downloaded movies. I'm sure that there will be quite a few of these that are literally just stolen internet and they'll drop the charges like they said they would. But okay, hold on. Vince Womack says our laws here are a bit different. You can download anything that is on the internet. You just can't share it necessary. You just can't share it. Well, I mean, that's why we have these kinds of laws, right? Because we want to be able to protect our intellectual properties and stuff. But it's the problem is this is getting through in a obviously semi alarming rate because this Clark guy up in Canada has already sued over 10,000 people for this exact thing. And I'm sure he's pretty good at it, or he wouldn't be in the newspaper. Not that it's actually a newspaper. I don't even know what this site actually, but anyway. And it was basically all over the hitman's wife's bodyguard. And if they instituted the maximum for all 1,900 people, that would be $95 million that these people would be able to shift into Hollywood's pockets again. Of course, the lawyer would take a very healthy chunk. That's why he does it. He doesn't do it because he likes protecting the rights of the companies or whatever. He's in it for the money. He's a lawyer. That's why they're in it. Is money. They don't. I mean, come on. There's three people I have absolutely zero trust for in this entire world. Three types of people, and that's lawyers, politicians, and doctors. I know that's a weird last one to say, but doctors never know what the fuck they're talking about. It's kind of weird. But I was like, well, I don't know. I'll send you off to somebody else. And then you're like, oh boy. And then you get ping-ponged around the specialist board. It's fucking weird. Anyway, so moving right along. As we started talking about in the beginning with Tolbat here, not having kids is killing people. Killing countries, I should say. Let me embiggen this for you guys so that we can just, there we go. So this is from Kyoto News with a D. Okay. Anyway, so people aged 80 and over top 10% of Japan's population for the first time. That means people aged 80 and up make up 10% of Japan's population. This is a big deal. That means that add cops. No idea. And cops. I've known some trustworthy cops, but it's becoming less and less over time. I won't lie. So yeah, right here. The number of people in the age bracket swelled by 270,000, making it a 10.1% of the total population of Japan. Okay. So in another record, 65 and over, defined as elderly, accounted for 29.1% of the total population at 36.23 million. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. Anyway, Yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about. Politicians, lawyers, doctors, and cops, people you shouldn't trust. Well, I say don't trust anybody. But like seriously though, the largest the country continues to have the largest proportion of this age group worldwide. Um that's because they're also seeing a great decline in the under like 6 months bracket rapidly. Um their birth rates are in the shitter. Uh like seriously. And women make up 56.6% of Japan's elderly population. That means uh if you're a man in Japan, you will die before your wife. Probably 50% of the time, a little more than 50% of the time. All right, just saying. Just saying. Writing with Charlie. What's up, bro? Good to see you here. Um for those of you who don't know why this is a problem, that means that their population is going to start rapidly declining. If everyone 80 and over were to pass away in Japan, their population would be cut by 10%. 65 and over, that's a 25% decrease in population. This is a serious problem. Uh, what does it look like when 25% of the people that work at your job are gone? It's kind of weird, right? Now multiply that by millions. And this is the problem we're seeing in a lot of countries right now. Birth rates are dropping. There's higher crime rates. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that crime is through the roof all over the world, especially violent crimes. And some of them aren't being reported as crimes because the governments there are hazy on what's criminal and what's not. But in a place like Japan, it's becoming so severe that eventually they could just not exist anymore. And that's a bad thing. We're talking about people deciding to breed, not to put an abstinence on their behavior until they get rid of themselves. And then, of course, if there's not enough young people, then industry dies because eventually people are going to get too old to work. And then those people will die. And then you're left with this weird middle ground where, like, Japan's population is like 3,000 people. And they start back up with the feudal lordships and stuff. I mean, history cycles. It's a bit excessive. 10% of the population could have a massive stroke and die right now in Japan. Think about it. They could all just like, they get scared and have heart attacks and shit like that. And then that's 10% of the Japanese population gone. 65 and over. Think about the amount of health problems that occur in a 65-year-old human being. That's 25%. Gone. Like, ladies and gentlemen of Japan, please start having unprotected sex and having babies. Just saying. You kind of need to save your own asses here because you don't want other people saving it for you because then you're not Japan anymore. Jeez. Riding with Charlie says there won't be enough young people to take care of the old people and still advance as a society. Yes, indeed. It's ridiculous. Hail to Corey Leader. He says, we can't get young people to work already. I know what you mean. I know. Having to be around teenagers all the time in the job market for so long made me literally go out and find a job where I could just work by myself and not have to deal with another living human being if I didn't want to. And it's really nice. The pay's not super great, but I'll tell you, not having to put up with stupid teenagers is fantastic. I love it. That's just kind of okay. So I was gonna read more of this, but that's just kind of where it ends. It's kind of weird. 25% of elderly people were still employed. That's alrighty. So the United States, I would see the breeding decline, if you will, because it's a multifaceted attack, right? So what it is they want to confuse you by like being like, okay, if I have kids, are they gonna cut his penis off if he's a boy? Are they gonna try to make him into a boy if she's a girl? Like, what exactly is gonna happen if I have kids? Will I have parents' rights in 9 months? Who knows? Who knows? But and then another part of that is like, I'm sure the dating scene right now for like new relationships and stuff is absolutely fucking terrifying. Okay. That cannot be a fun time right now. I am super glad that I am married because I will tell you, I couldn't imagine getting into the dating scene these days. Like it was bad enough when I had to start going and filling out all of the job applications online, right? Because then you lose that face-to-face first impression that usually gets you the job. You're not just a piece of paper. But now you're doing that to dating. We've been doing that for a while. Online dating was a huge thing, still is. It just turned into mobile app dating. I'm surprised that it's not like Tinder Go, so you can like stalk each other and have fun, play fun little games in your retarded ass world of swipe left, swipe right. What? And then like, why are so many young people terrified to speak to each other? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Teenagers are supposed to be like loud and boisterous most of the time, but like, you look at some of these like high school classes and some of these like middle school classes and stuff, because I've been a janitor at a lot of places. They're all so fucking silent and awkward. It's just weird. Like you'll walk by someplace and like you'd be like, oh, it's lunchtime, right? So it's gonna be noisy. You go by there and people are just like sitting there and just like staring at their food, not talking and nothing. There's like maybe 3 or 4 kids that are actually engaging, and it's like, what the hell is going on right now? I have no idea what's going on right now. And beyond that, like you expect those awkward ass, can't even talk to each other during a meal people to go out and engage in intercourse effectively. First of all, that's right. Like they try to talk to each other and they're like, yeah, legit. Vince, that doesn't help either, dude. You're not wrong. He says false accusations of harassment, sexual assault, even being called a creep, weirdo, etc. Yeah, it's a very volatile world for a man to go out and find a woman, for a lot of different reasons. I mean, let's be real. If you're just a normal dude, normal straight guy looking for a normal straight chick, and when I say normal, I mean like, whatever your baseline for normal is. Okay. I'm not using societal norms because there's no such fucking thing. Okay. No such thing as a societal norm. Normal is a stupid term and we need to stop using it. But hail to Nate D. What is up? Gold diggers, free dinners. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But anyway, like could you imagine, like, if you're Corey Leader says, when I see a pretty girl in public, I assume they are married with kids. Yeah, most of the time. Most of the time, that's a safe assumption because those girls get scooped up real easy. And then all of the crazies get left out because you didn't have the chance to make those meaningful connections with the pretty chick at, whatever fucking frat kager she happened to be at the night she met her husband, I'm so glad I married my wife. Like, we met at work and it just worked. It was fantastic. And I didn't have to go through any of this. Like, does she have a penis? Like, that's a serious problem if she has a penis, because she probably shouldn't have a penis. You know what I mean? And then, like, if you look at the toxic atmosphere of, like, where guys used to go to pick up chicks, like, if you go to a bar to meet a chick, chances are you're going to come out one of three ways. You'll actually successfully engage in a normal conversation, and it will be a normal evening, if you will. There's that word again, normal. Or her friends, especially her fat, overly aggressive, self-conscious friend, is just going to, like, back you off one way or another. She's going to be like, bitch, he's here with me. Mm-hmm. And then she's going to slap you as hard as she fucking can, or some weird shit, or she's going to try to get down your pants and literally scare you off. There was some lint on my shirt right here. Get off of me. Anyway, so the third way this turns out is Thailand. If you don't get that, then yeah. See, Josiah Robinson, I will explain this one more time, because normal is a stupid word. I think most people can understand it. Normal, when I use it, is whatever your baseline, your brain considers to be normal. I'm not going for any type of societal normification of anything. I'm just using it as a broad, encompassing term as to some things we can all understand. You know what I mean? Like, just wherever your brain baselines with what a normal day at a bar is, you know, with whatever a normal day anywhere is, with whatever a normal relationship is. I'm just generalizing because I'm tired, and it's easier to generalize than to be specific. And yeah, but seriously though, dating in Japan has got to be a whole different ball of wax. I mean, think about it. You know, we grew up with, like, two very conflicting ideas. As an American, I grew up with two conflicting stories about what Japanese people and Japanese culture is. Okay, on the one hand, it's the super noble, caring, like, very loyal and passionate individuals, right? On the other hand, it's these really strange people with all these weird obsessions, and you know what I'm talking about. What the fuck, Tentacle? Really? Like, why? Gosh, they blur out a penis, but they will show a tentacle doing things that Ron Jeremy would be like, what? Oh, and by the way, hail to Josiah Robinson. I think I forgot to say that earlier. Exactly, it was rhetorical. That's why I put it in quotes. Yeah, I know, but I like hitting on rhetorical because it's my show, and I got to be able to talk. If I'm not talking, then I'm not talking a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, Vince says it's both. Yeah, the third way is Thailand. That's where I closed that comment off. Yeah, because let's Thailand femboys. If you guys don't, just gosh, very strange. That's what I do, bro. The next thing we're gonna look at is slightly hard to understand for some people. This is visualizing the 2023 BRICS expansion, and this came from World Population Review, visualcapitalist.com. So, anyway, so those of you who don't know what BRICS is, it's a new global alliance. And what? Hold on. Vince Womack says Japanese men at least business during the day and party animals at night. Yeah. That's how their whole life is. It's kind of weird. Dollar is dying internationally. Yes, it is. So this is actually the BRICS membership as it stands. Okay, it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, hail to Jason from Jason Fox from 540 Studios. Yeah, my fatigue has not gotten any better since we saw each other this morning on air. Seriously, I mean, if you guys missed that, it's Corey's Corner The one about mental health and reality. Yeah, it was a good show. So those were the original members when it was founded in 2010. If this alliance doesn't bother you and you're not concerned about this, go do some research. On top of that, the green we see here are new members. Iran. I hear they're super, super good with human rights and stuff. It's super good. The United Arab Emirates, another superb, upstanding human rights advocate, whatever, in that country. Then we have Ethiopia, which honestly I haven't heard anything. Vince says, should have taken your own advice and had a nap. No, this is stress fatigue at this point. Yeah. It's been a weird, rough day, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. Okay. We're talking about this. Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that's a fine, upstanding country. Egypt, not really surprising. Corey Leader says he was thinking the brick store. Well, I mean, I'm sure they probably make some good stone, something like that. And Argentina, major producer of critical metals and lithiums and such. Okay, so this may not seem like a problem to people who don't understand that this is setting up the stage for what could potentially be buzzword World War III. And I'm not even kidding. These guys are as anti-American as you can get. Okay, they play like they aren't, but they're like common enemies. It's a furniture store. Sorry. I'm not really openly familiar with furniture stores anywhere. I try not to leave my house. Yes. I found it's much easier if you never leave. Just kidding. I'm not a shut-in. I wish I could be, though. That'd be fantastic. And of course, these are the countries that applied for membership in BRICS. Everyone in gray, basically, right now would be classified as an enemy of BRICS. Just keep that in mind. And here we see like Malaysia and Indonesia and stuff like that, right? Who are constantly claiming that they're in a territory conflict with China. But whatever. And then, of course, over here we have several smaller African countries. Actually, a pretty big one up here. But this is where it gets concerning and should be concerning for most people. That's Cuba. Or that's either Cuba or Puerto Rico at this point. I don't remember. Anyway. Yeah, so they're right on our doorstep, as they've always wanted to be. Okay, and this is a problem that a lot of people aren't talking about. And the reason that they're not talking about it is because they're too wrapped up in local presidential campaigns and such. And those are important. But you also have to ask yourself, is the next president going to be able to lead us in a war against all of these countries? Because trust me, they're not on our side. Okay. We're coming down here now. So this is the share of global GDP. Okay. Saudi Arabia is the only $1 trillion economy being added to BRICS. Okay. But with new members, they will hold 29% of global domestic product. Global gross domestic product. See, that's where my brain is breaking again. I shouldn't be talking about numbers without Culture Casino. But now, if you're looking at population, these countries will make up 46% of the entire world population. After adding countries like Ethiopia means BRIC would soon represent more than half. All right. A single alliance with more than half of the world's population in it, and it's not any no European countries that I'm aware of. There's no, obviously, America's not going to join in this little fun thing. Well, I mean, there's that. What is that? Is that anyway? And then exports of good would be 25 or oil production. Yeah, let's not skip over that because this is important. Without the addition of these 3 countries or 5 countries, three countries, that eliminates half of their overall oil. Okay, and if you look here, you see Russia has some on the existing members, but Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates will double the BRICS share of global oil production. If you don't know what that means for American oil and various other types, then again, do some research. Hail to toxic man flu, because these types of problems are serious. These are things that we need to look at because Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE are siding with China, Russia, and India. And these are not good governments. These are not good countries. And I'm not saying the United States is 100% great because guess what? It's not. No country is. They all have shit politics. They all have shit people. It's just, that's humanity, baby. Humanity is a gigantic smorgasbord of, is this person going to be a piece of shit or not? I mean, hail to T.Z. Burton. I've heard weird mixed things on this American oil production, and I need to do more research because there's a lot of people trying to spin some weird shit. The export of goods, of course, being continued to be led by China, would be 25% of the global. This is in merchandise trade only. You can see the little asterisks here. And that's based off of 2022 numbers for the last 2 here because we don't have 2023 numbers yet. But this could potentially be a very serious situation for the United States. Could be a serious problem for the EU. Because I just want you to look at the mass of the Earth that is covered by BRICS. No, this is not a Minecraft discussion, but you could go there if you want. But think about it. BRICS is massive, and they're going to continue to gain more. Pretty soon, I wouldn't be surprised if 3/4 of this is red. This will have to be forcibly turned to red because if you guys don't know what this is Mongolia, and they don't fucking... good luck. They gonna mess your day up. They don't even need an army to do it. They'll just like throat sing you to death or some shit. Mongolia is a whole different beast, dude. They're in between China and Russia, and they're still an independent state. Either they don't want them, or Mongolia is like, bring it, bitch. Vince says Biden admin haven't renewed a lot of contracts for drilling, fracking, and other. That doesn't surprise me because he's kind of a twat. We need an infrastructure to have an American infrastructure. Like, if we don't have a production line of anything, then what good are we? We're a nation of importers as it is, and consumers. We shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be doing that. These other countries wouldn't have half the shit that they fucking have right now if it wasn't for us. And don't tell me otherwise. And that's not just me being a crazy Star Stripes, blue, red, blue, and white fucking eyed boy. I'm fucking tired of shit right now. But I'm just trying to say, America's the best. America's the best. And when America's the best, and fuck the rest. Like, seriously. Like, I love my friends that are overseas, in various countries, Norway, Denmark, whatever. Germany. I've got friends in Germany. I've got friends in the UK, Canada, wherever you guys are at. Peru. I love you guys, but America's the best, and fuck the rest. That's all I have to say about that. The problem is, under the current administration, if we were to go to war with these individuals in the BRICS coalition, we would not, under any circumstances, win that fight. You know why? You know why? Because we got rid of all of our fucking arms and munitions, and now we're rapidly trying to restock ourselves. And you know what? Has anyone seen an F-35 laying around anywhere? The United States government is asking you for your help to locate an F-35. I know they found a debris trail running up to this shit. I know they did. But the problem is, how did they fucking lose it in the first place? Let's be honest. Hail to Snail Messiah. F-35. Denmark bought them. And Vince says, no, it's totally not in my basement. Yeah. It's in Vince's basement. Good job, Vince. Just steal the F-35. Somebody probably turned it into a backyard smoker at this point or some shit. No, I'm kidding. I'd love to see some details on what led up to all that, but that's not going to happen. Yeah. He says, this is the collectivists' economic power play. The problem that I see here is it seems to be two collectivists with slightly different ideals fighting over who should have the economic power in the world. Because I haven't seen very many like individualist driven mindsets in any of these politicians in any of these countries. Just saying. Snail Messiah says it's a shit plane, but Denmark, I'm assuming, had to show they wanted to lick even more American ass. Yeah, that's not surprising. That engine make hot dogs ready in 20 seconds. Wow. 20 seconds? You might want to adjust the fuel air mixture on that. Should cook it a lot faster than 20 seconds. Just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this is where I'm going to call it because I am starting to develop a migraine. A great close to the day. So, hail to the common nerd. He said, finders keepers. Well, you can keep it if you want, bro. I mean, honestly, if you want to keep it, you can. I'm going to just stop talking about like politics stuff at the moment, though, because I am so dead. And I still got a lot of other stuff I got to deal with. I know you just got here, Snail Messiah, but we 48 minutes in, bro. It's an hour show. It's close enough. I could put this on television with commercials and be an hour. So, I mean, let's be real, bro. It's all good. And the common nerd says, I do know how to fix the body of them. That's great. That would be very helpful. Maybe you could help modify it into a smoker for somebody's backyard, you know? Yeah. Thank you, common nerd. I will do my best to get some rest. But yeah, I'm gonna get going. I will see you guys later. Make sure you join Monday Night Meltdown. It's Nick Weiser's birthday. Pop on over there and say happy birthday to Nick Weiser. It should be a good time. I don't know if I'll be there or not because I feel like shit right now. Like my head's pounding. I'm hot. And I got tons of shit I got to do. And I'm going to go before I start whining and bitching and moaning like a little girl. Because you know how men are when they don't feel good, right? They just like, right? Oh, no, wait. That's right. That's how bitches are. That's right. Yeah. I am probably going to go probably finish off the dishes. Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time.